Stop! Before you click away, I need to warn you. What you're about to hear is not a game, it's not fiction. This actually happened. In real life, people reported this story and nobody believed them. Until now, if you get scared easily, leave. This is your only warning. But if you're brave enough to stay, it will be one of the scariest stories you will ever hear in your life. Before we start, subscribe to Mikey HR and hit the like button. If you haven't watched these 2 videos, you've missed out on a lot. You can watch it on the channel after this video. I spend hours finding these stories so you don't have to. It takes 2 seconds, and it means everything. Now, turn off the lights. And let's begin. What if? That's the question I keep asking myself at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep, at breakfast when I can't eat, in the shower when I can't feel the water anymore. My name is Mark. I live in a duplex on the edge of town. The other half is rented by a man named Owen. I've known him for 3 years. He's quiet, keeps to himself, works nights at the warehouse. We wave when we see each other. We don't talk much. That changed 3 weeks ago. It was a Thursday. 11 p.m., I was watching TV. My wife Rachel was already asleep upstairs when I heard the knock. Soft, hesitant, like someone wasn't sure they should be knocking at all. I opened the door and Owen stood there. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. He was still wearing his work clothes, but his shirt was untucked and his hair was a mess. His eyes were red. He'd been crying. He smelled like sweat and something stale, like he hadn't showered in days. "Hey, Mark," he said. His voice cracked. "I'm sorry, I know it's late." "You okay?" He swallowed. "I'm not, I need help." I remember those words exactly. I need help. I stood in the doorway with my arms crossed. "What kind of help?" He looked past me into the house. His eyes lingered on the hallway, the stairs, the family photos hanging on the wall. Then he looked back at me. "I don't have anyone else," he said quietly. "I know we don't know each other that well, but I don't have anyone else." There was something in his voice, not panic, but acceptance, like he'd already reached the end of something. "Owen, what happened?" He opened his mouth, then closed it. He looked down at his hands. His knuckles were bruised and raw, like he'd spent hours punching something. "I can't do it anymore," he said. Then after a pause, "I can't be alone. I wish I could tell you I invited him inside, but I didn't." "I'm sorry, Owen," I said. "It's late. My wife is asleep. Whatever it is, you should call the police or go to the hospital. I'm not qualified for—" "I know." And he nodded before I could finish. "I know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have—" "It's fine," I said. "Just take care of yourself, okay?" He looked at me for a long moment. His eyes were wet and his lip trembled. "Okay," he said then, turned around and walked back to his apartment with his hands in his pockets and shoulders slumped. He unlocked his door with shaking fingers, stepped inside, and closed it. I closed my door too and went back to my TV show. I didn't think about it again until morning. 3 days later, Owen stopped coming outside, I noticed, because his car never moved. The lights stayed off and the blinds stayed closed. A week went by. His mail piled up, his garbage wasn't taken out, and still no sign of him. So I knocked on his door, but there was no answer. So I knocked again, but this time harder. "Owen," nothing. "You okay in there?" Silence. I pressed my ear against the wood, but I didn't hear anything. I smelled something sweet, slightly metallic. I know now what I was smelling, and I wish I didn't. I called the landlord. He came over that afternoon and found Owen in the bedroom. The police came, then the medical examiner. They ruled it self-inflicted. They estimated he'd been dead for 6 days. 6 days? That means he died around the same time I stood outside his door, the same time I finally decided to check on him. Too late. Everyone tells me there was nothing I could have done, but they're wrong. Because here's what keeps me awake. When Owen came to my door that night, he wasn't asking me to save him. He wasn't asking me to fix his life. He was asking me to listen, to see him, to sit with him for a while. And I didn't. I closed the door and went back to my TV show. He came to me and I closed the door. I was the only one who opened it, and I was also the only one who closed it. That was 3 weeks ago. Last Thursday, at exactly 11 p.m., someone knocked. Soft, hesitant, like someone wasn't sure they should be knocking at all. I opened the door before the second knock. Nobody was there. But Owen's apartment light was on. I stood there staring at it. The light glowed behind the drawn blinds. I could have sworn it had been dark a moment earlier. I went back inside. I locked the door and went to bed. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I found something on my doorstep. A dirty, creased, folded piece of paper, like it had spent days in someone's pocket. I unfolded it. It was a note written in Owen's handwriting, just one sentence. I knocked on every door. You were the only one who answered. I thought that meant something. The paper felt cold and the ink was smeared. At the bottom was a date. The night he died. I went straight to the landlord. I asked if anyone had entered Owen's apartment after the police left. No, he said, it's sealed until the family comes. I showed him the note and his face went pale. The police never found a note. What? The landlord continued. They searched everything. He stared at the paper. There wasn't supposed to be a note. I took it home, locked it in a drawer. I haven't opened that drawer since. That was a week ago. Tonight is Thursday again. It's 10:58 p.m. I'm writing this because I don't know what else to do. A few minutes ago, I heard footsteps, slow, dragging, coming from Owen's side of the duplex. They stopped outside my door, then came the silence, and then a soft and hesitant knock, like someone wasn't sure they should be knocking at all. I'm not going to open it, but I looked through the peephole. There's nobody there. At least, nobody I can see. But I can hear a wet and shallow breathing, and then a whisper. Mark? A pause. Then, please. I know that voice. It's Owen, but Owen is dead. I saw them carry his body out of that apartment. The police confirmed it. The medical examiner confirmed it. So why is he standing outside my door? Why is he still knocking? What if I open the door? What if I say yes? What if I let him in this time? If you're still here, you just made it through one of the scariest stories you will ever hear in the internet. Most people clicked away. You didn't. That means something. I want to know, and do you think this actually happened? Or is it just a story? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video gave you chills or kept you up at night, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it tells me you want more stories like this. Subscribe to Mikey Blocks and turn on the bell, because the next story I found is even darker than this one. You don't want to miss it. Until next time, stay safe out there.